Hello, hey Auntie Cherry, hey Miss Walker. Y'all the first ones in the building. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Put a one if you can hear me. Let me know if y'all Hold on, I got my other device up. I had to turn it down. Okay, let me see something. Thank you for the one. Thank you. I appreciate that. How's everyone doing? How is everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing great. I'm doing great. I thank God for another day. So that's the first thing I want to say. Hey, PA. Hey, Love 1968. How are y'all doing today? We're going to talk about Nancy today. And y'all, I was just watching someone coverage. As we speak, the FBI is at Nancy house right now as we speak. It's like 10 of them. They're all swarming all over the place. So I guess now the FBI is involved in this now. I mean, they all over her house, all in the house, the backyard. Oh my God. So I guess the FBI have took over permanently of this case. So I do have some things that we're going to share. Because what happened to Nancy? What really, hey, Brittany, hey, Miss Smith. What really happened to her? I mean, I think it's a good story to cover, you know. Um, I would do this for anybody, you know. It don't matter the color, the race, whatever, it doesn't matter. You know, a person is a person at the end of the day. It could be our mother, our aunts, anybody, you know. So um I don't mind doing it. I may have some people may not participate and some people may participate, but it's okay. It's cool with me. I already know how the game go. Some people just like to want to talk about what they want to talk about. She been missing for 24 days. So it's about time they stepped in. Yes, it is, Brittany. It is. I believe they should have stepped in right away. I don't understand why they didn't. I don't know the reason why they never stepped in. But yes, I think they should have had been stepped in um, on this case. But I know as we speak right now, they are heavily at her house. Yes, it's like 10 or 15 of them, honey. Yes, they is at her house. And from what I was hearing on that loud sound, like to me, they was drilling something inside the house. I said, what the hell is going on? Like, so, you know, it's a lot. It is a lot. It definitely is a lot, you know. But I just feel it. It's a lot of stuff that I don't know. It's kind of like odd to me, you know. But the daughter, like I told you yesterday, the daughter did say that they took her mom out of her bed. The mom was in the house sleeping at the time of the abduction. She was, and from what I understand, the mom wear hearing aids, so she might didn't even know that the abductor was in the house. Now I'm gonna play some clips and let y'all hear some clips for yourself, how y'all feel about it, what y'all think about it, and stuff like that. Hey, Miss Smith.
Hey, Miss D, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanking God for another day. And I want to say thank you, Miss Smith. I want to say I give you your flowers. Thank you. No matter what story I cover, you always come on my panel and help me cover the story. And I want to say thank you. I want to shout you out for that. I want to say thank you. You stuck by my side through the whole Ramika case. Um, Whatever case I covered after that, you just always was willing to come on my panel with me and help me cover stories. So I wanted to say thank you for that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. You're welcome.
Because sometimes you don't get that. Sometimes when you don't cover what people want, they'll run off. You won't never see them again, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I understand.
so I want to say thank you, and I really, really appreciate that from you. So, y'all, we're going to watch maybe two, right? And I want y'all to give me y'all opinion of what y'all think. Because when we do stuff like this, y'all, we all speculate our story, and I'm cool with that. Yes, Miss Smith, you has been great with Miss D. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate that. Thank you. We all come and give our opinion on any story we cover, but I felt like doing this, y'all, because like I said, the color doesn't matter to me. I'm not racist, any of that. I love everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this could have been my mommy, this could have been my auntie, anybody, and I felt like we need to make this awareness too. You know what I'm saying? Because she's an elderly lady, and I hope they find her safe. She comes back safe. Her family needs answers, to what happened to Nancy, so
Thanks.
yeah. So we're gonna get into this here because I think I had like y'all. When I got on my live yesterday, y'all, to be honest with y'all, I did not feel good at all, and I struggled to keep my eyes open to find these stories. But I had a headache out of nowhere yesterday, y'all. Maybe because I didn't take my blood pressure pill yesterday before I came live. That could have been the problem. And when I got off live, I just had a tremendous headache. I took a Tylenol, I laid down. I woke back up and I was like, oh man, I gotta find these stories for tomorrow. Then I gotta do my thumbnail for tomorrow. So yeah. Miss D, did you hear that Nancy had a pacemaker? Yes, we're gonna get into that. Yes, I did. And I also heard that it was connected to her phone and it got disconnected after an hour. So somebody was saying too, I guess the further you go out, it disconnects from the phone, or did the person abductor her disconnected? So that's what we need to like talk about too. Yeah. Yep. I did hear that. Yeah. So let's get into this and then let me just bring it up for you guys.
This is about all they have right now, and they are
Good
they're
morning.
making it
Let me
very
know if you can
clear
hear
that
it, guys.
they will pay. The question really is, and I'm very skeptical of this, is this really a kidnapping? Does somebody really have her, and is she really alive? And I don't think we have the answers to that question right now. I don't think she's been her proof of life has been credibly authenticated at this point. So I think you see them searching other places. You see them searching in the backyard there.
Y'all see how big her house is?
So-called manhole. They're still rounding out the investigation, and so I think they're giving some leeway for some possibility that this is not a kidnapping. And as I said, I'm very skeptical that it is one in the first place.
Wow.
4 elite investigators, 4 identical doubts, all pointing a jagged finger away from the official story we've been fed for 22 days. Paul Cellino, a legendary Chicago homicide veteran with 35 years on the force. He's the only investigator CBS News and 48 Hours ever hired as an on-air expert. His work literally saved 5 men from death row. When Governor George Ryan cleared Illinois death row in 2003, he cited Cellino as a primary reason. Chris Swecker,
right,
a former FBI assistant director who went on national television to state plainly, he is very skeptical this was ever a kidnapping.
Local tax experts are here. Now you can meet with a TurboTax expert in your community. They can do your taxes for you and get you every dollar you deserve. Local tax experts are here. Hand off your taxes with confidence.
Oh, these commercials just get on my nerves. Like, go away, commercials.
Jennifer Coffindaffer, a retired FBI agent who told News Nation those ransom notes never added up. To her,
Yo, this is the lady I was telling y'all about yesterday. She's the retired FBI agent. This is the lady I was telling y'all about.
They looked like tools to torment the Guthrie family, not tools to collect cash.
Well,
Hey,
first
Miss
to the
Thompson.
crime scene aspect of it, they could have found something as simple as a turned over cup of coffee or a dropped cup of coffee, or her purse was on the ground, or her phone was strewn in a place that they'd never seen before. But one thing I'd like to key on, if I could, is that even though the caregivers may be great people, what I always recommend to my clients, and I'm sure Chris does when he does his threat assessments, we always tell our clients to do a background check on every.
Now, y'all, from what I'm getting, I never knew this. Maybe y'all in the chat may know it. I didn't know she had a caregiver until this lady spoke on this the other day. So that's new to me.
Everyone that lives in the home or is a close family member of the person you're hiring, because you have to look at that threat vector to determine who's doing what in that home. And the reason I say that is because even if the caregiver is just the most wonderful person, if she has one or more people in her home that are, let's say, a gangbanger or a criminal, or they're into some type of other behavior, they may just listen to their mom say, oh, today we went shopping and she spent $700 and she's so lucky and her kids love her so much. You know, they may know a lot more than people realize. So I always advise my clients to know and understand who the people are your caregivers live with, because it is a vulnerability that I'm sure the police are looking at right now.
Jim Clement, a retired FBI profiler with 20 years at the Bureau. He issued a chilling warning. If this isn't about money, the motive behind Nancy Guthrie's vanishing is likely what he calls dark.
Fact that the victim, Nancy Guthrie, was at her home in the privacy and security of her own home, that's the lowest risk environment she could possibly be in, especially a home like this, set back from the road and having a good perimeter around it. So that means that to invade that privacy and security, that's the highest risk for an offender. So this is a very high risk crime on a low risk victim, which means that the motivation must have been greater than the risk that was taken by this offender. And so motivations are typically money. If that's the case, then it's a kidnapping. If they ask for a ransom, then that would qualify as a kidnapping. Otherwise, it would be an abduction. And other motives could be revenge, some kind of personal ideology, or for sex crimes. And yes, even in cases of a victim of this age, there are people who commit sex crimes. So we don't know what the motive is, but we do know that it was very, very high in motivation because they overcame such a high risk.
These aren't bored Redditors or clout-chasing YouTubers. These are professionals who decode crime scenes like we read the news. And when they study the Nancy Guthrie case, they don't see a kidnapping. They see a performance. Tonight, we put the kidnapping theory on trial and let the evidence reach a verdict. To be fair, we must present the strongest argument for the official narrative. The evidence isn't thin air. On January 31st, 2026, 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie returned to her Catalina Foothills home after dinner with her daughter, Annie, and son-in-law, Tommaso Shani. Her garage door shut at 9:50 p.m. By 2:28 a.m., her pacemaker app lost its connection to her phone. She hasn't been seen since. A doorbell camera caught a masked figure at 1:47 a.m.,
this is the guy.
armed, gloved, and carrying a black Ozark Trail backpack. The camera was then blinded. Investigators found Nancy's DNA and blood on the porch. Her phone and purse were left behind. Sheriff Nanos stated on February 18th that Nancy couldn't walk 50 yards alone, concluding, whoever did this knew what they were up to, knew who they were after.
Nothing's indicating to us that she was targeted, but we're getting a lot of leads thanks to you and the media, and so we'll look into those leads and see where that takes.
And this sheriff guy right here, he was getting a lot of backlash, y'all. A lot of backlash. They didn't like the things he was saying. They didn't like how he ruled out the family so fast. So he was getting a lot of backlash from people. And this could be the reason why that the FBI took over. I don't know. But he was getting a lot of backlash.
Takes us. There is not a piece of information that we won't look at, and we'll take it seriously.
Then came the ransom. Demands for millions in crypto flooded media outlets. The family offered to pay. The FBI went into overdrive. 400 personnel, a 24-hour command post, and a reward topping $200,000. Even FBI Director Kash Patel and the president got involved.
Promised Savannah Guthrie's family the full support of federal law enforcement. FBI is now...
I'll give you a little statement. I think we're doing very well on that regard. You're probably surprised to hear that. I think we're doing very well. Very well, meaning we have some clues, I think, that are very strong. And I think we could have some answers coming up fairly soon.
Is this a nationwide search? Is this a search going to Mexico?
I'm not talking about a search. I'm talking about a solution. We have some things I think that will maybe come out reasonably soon from DOJ or FBI or whoever that could be
Suspect?
Yeah, could be definitive. A lot's taken place in the last couple of hours. A lot of things have happened with regard to that horrible situation in the last couple of hours.
That is the case for the prosecution. A masked intruder, blood, a frail victim, and a massive federal response. Now let's hear the rebuttal. In any real kidnapping, the product is the person. To get paid, you must prove you have the goods. Without proof of life, there is no leverage. This isn't just common sense. It's the iron law of every ransom case in history. It has been 22 days, not one photo. No video, no audio, no lock of hair, no note in Nancy's handwriting, nothing. Expert witness, Paul Cellino told the New York Post, there should have been something, so they could verify these people have my mother. He notes that in a high-profile case, proof of life usually arrives immediately. Savannah Guthrie herself begged for this, without a doubt, proof on February 4th. That was 18 days ago. The silence remains unbroken.
It's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on and say that we still have hope, and we still believe. And I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is, that it's never too late. And or alone.
Real kidnappers want privacy. They want a direct line to the family to avoid the heat of the FBI. But in this case, the ransom notes, demanding $6 million in Bitcoin, went to TMZ and local news stations. They went to the media, not the family. The Bitcoin wallet listed, total balance, 0. No transactions, no follow-up when deadlines passed, no escalation. Then more sophisticated notes arrived at TMZ using different crypto, suggesting media coverage itself was part of the payment.
If you are not real, you're committing a crime. This is the 4th letter you've sent, and I should tell everybody that in this letter, it says, I know what I saw 5 days ago south of the border, and I was told to shut up, so I know who he is, and that was definitely Nancy with them. This is the 2nd time he has referred to more than one person involved in this. He also says one of the reasons he's worried about coming forward is he has a record. He has a burglary on his record from 10 years ago. If you're worried about getting this money, and you really do have this information, send it to us. You're sending us these letters. Send it to us. We will forward it to the FBI. So this is a way for you to get that money if this really is.
Expert witness. Jennifer Coffindaffer told News Nation the timing and delivery were wrong. It looked more like psychological torture than a financial transaction.
You installed this?
Even had a few screws left over.
Well, I always said I believe it was more than one person.
If it's important, it's not worth compromising. That's why with Farmers, you can get quality and savings.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Use these commercials from the nerve.
The FBI has confirmed there is no active negotiation with any kidnappers. 22 days of performance notes that don't function like a real ransom. The doorbell footage from February 10th is the cornerstone of the kidnapping story. It shows the masked figure, the weapon, the backpack. But look closer. It shows someone approaching and tampering. It does not show Nancy being taken. No getaway car was spotted. No neighbor's cameras caught a struggle. The digital trail ends because the footage was disabled, and Google hasn't been able to recover the layers of deleted data. If the goal wasn't a kidnapping but staging, creating a visual intruder to explain a disappearance, then that footage isn't evidence of a crime. It's a prop. Nancy is 84. Her pacemaker stopped reporting at 2:28 a.m. She requires daily heart medication that the sheriff says is fatal to miss. Savannah described her mother as fragile and in constant pain. If she is alive, her captors have kept a medically dependent woman stable for 3 weeks without any evidence of getting her medicine or seeking help. While a Mexico pharmacy theory exists, the sheriff says there is zero evidence she crossed the border.
We have shut down our search and rescue mission. We don't see this as a search mission as much as we do a crime scene.
Expert witness Paul Cellino notes, real kidnappers don't wait. The risk grows every hour. They want the money fast. This silence isn't strategic, it's symptomatic of a different story. Police found black gloves 2 miles away. They contained DNA from an unknown male. Inside the house, more unknown DNA was found. Neither profile matches anyone in CODIS, the national database of 19 million offenders. Crucially, the DNA on the glove does not match the DNA in the house. 2 unknown people. Neither has a criminal record. That's rare for a stranger abduction, where suspects usually have a history. It's less rare if the individuals were chosen specifically because they are invisible to the system. If there's no proof of life, no real negotiation, and no medical way for her to survive this long, the question shifts. Did a kidnapping even happen? Cellino suggests the case has the hallmarks of staging. Clement warns of dark motives. An inside source told Arizona's family that many investigators actually believe this was a burglary gone wrong. Then there is the theory the media won't touch, that Nancy was harmed inside that home, and the masked man and ransom notes were merely smoke and mirrors to lead the FBI in the wrong direction. The Guthrie family has been cleared. The sheriff insists they are victims and has shut down online rumors. He maintains this was a targeted hit by people who knew who they were after. He still believes she is alive.
Are you actively investigating the son-in-law in this case? I know there were reports earlier this week and you refuted that. You said you haven't eliminated everybody. Have you eliminated him or come close to it, or are you actively looking at him?
We're actively looking at everybody we come across in this case. Everybody. We would be irresponsible if we didn't talk to everybody. The Uber driver, the gardener, the pool person, whoever, everybody. It's so cliche. But
and didn't I say this yesterday, y'all? The gardener, it could be anybody. Like I just feel like it was someone close to her that knew her routines, knew inside of that house ins and out. They knew the whole family. They've been around the family for quite some times. I just don't believe this was a random person. I don't believe that. They went straight and took this lady out of her bed.
but everybody's still a suspect in our eyes. That's just how we look at things, I think, as cops. Does that mean we have a prime suspect? No, and the family's been very cooperative. They've done everything we've asked of them, and we want that relationship to continue. And sometimes people can be mean out there, and that can really harm us and harm our efforts.
Did you find blood anywhere?
But we are left with a massive contradiction. A tactical abduction followed by a disorganized aftermath. One of those things isn't true. The truth will eventually surface. Genetic genealogy, the paint-peeling process the sheriff described, will provide a name. Whether that name reveals a kidnapper or a conspirator, the DNA won't lie. If you have specific, actionable info, call 1-800-CALL-FBI. Don't call with theories. The system is already drowning in them. Nancy Guthrie deserves the truth, and whoever did this left enough of themselves behind to ensure they'll eventually have to face it. Subscribe, share. I'll see you in the next one.
What do you think, Miss Smith? Let me go to the next one.
I think they're crazy. Number one, it is not a burglary gone wrong. Nobody is taking an unalive body with them. I don't care if the burglary went wrong. I'm going to leave her and skedaddle. You know what I mean? That part is crazy work.
Right. Yeah. Something is just not adding up with this. It's just not. I don't feel like I don't feel like that it was just somebody that they don't know. I feel like it was somebody that they definitely knows that has been in that house before. And they knew everything about that house.
You work hard to earn it.
I agree.
Yeah, I do believe that. Okay, I have another one here.
And okay, so if she has a caretaker, where was the caretaker?
Well, I don't know, because this happened like something after 1 a.m, something 2 a.m, that they got her out of the bed. So I'm assuming that the caretaker comes there during the daytime and not at night. You know, because they said she was taking something 2 a.m. But my theory is, how did they get in the house? Like, it was no forced entries in the front of the house. Well, they said it was no.
At that rate.
Right. I mean, and I got a good look at her back of the house. I did see a sliding door back there. So, when did they get in through the sliding door? This was well planned. It has 3 weeks and nothing. Right. So she was living in that big house by herself? Yes. Yes, she was. And one of the neighbors did say that sometimes she would come out with her cane. She would walk slow. She would check her mail, and she will go back in the house. One of the neighbors did say that I seen on the live that I watched the other day. One of the neighbors did speak. Now, I never knew she had a caretaker until I watched that video. And I said, oh, okay.
And then they said she can't walk far. So she can only walk about, what did they say, 50 feet in the video?
Yeah. Yeah.
By unassisted.
Right. I mean,
so that does put us up to 3 people, Miss B. Because you need the 2 people to help manage the woman and a driver. Because I'm not waiting while we put the woman in the car and then turn around and get in the driver's seat or the van, whatever they got. That's crazy.
Right. Right. Yes, she was living in that big house alone. Now, I don't know if she just felt comfortable living by herself. I don't know what that situation was. But me personally, I could never have my mom living 84 years old, living in a big home like that, in the desert like that, with all these conditions alone. No, I would have took my mom in, you know, and just maybe closed down the house, went there to check on the house every so often. But I'm just speaking for me, how I feel. And I know a lot of people be like, when you get a certain age, you know, you're used to this, you're used to that. But when your mom get a certain age like that, sometimes you have to think safety for your mom. You know, so I'm just saying. So let's get into this one.
Let's work hard to keep it. From expert help with taxes to smart money tools you can use to spend.
Google Nest doorbell, a figure masked and deliberate stepping into the frame. Then the screen goes black. The camera is cut. And within that digital darkness, Nancy Guthrie, a grandmother, a pillar of her community, a woman whose life was measured in Sunday church services and family dinners, simply ceased to exist in the eyes of the United States. But while the American public was being fed a narrative of seamless international cooperation and activated protocols, something else was happening across that 69-mile line. A silence, a vacuum, a total breakdown of the very systems we are told are designed to protect us. Today, we aren't just looking at a missing persons case. We are looking at a geopolitical shell game. We are looking at the discrepancy between what the FBI says is happening and what the Mexican authorities, standing in the dust of Sonora, say is the cold, hard truth. To understand the gravity of the Nancy Guthrie case, you have to understand the math of the border. Nancy was last seen on the night of January 31st. She had dinner with her daughter Annie and her son-in-law Tommaso Shani. It was a normal night. It ended with a good night and a door locking. But the doorbell camera tells us the intrusion happened at 1:47 a.m. Nancy wasn't missed until the next morning, February 1st, when she failed to show up for her regular church service. That creates an 8-hour window.
Yeah, that's what happened, y'all. She didn't show up to her church service. And if I'm not mistaken, the church service sent the police out there or something, or contacted her daughter or something like that. But that's how it all started.
Window.
Hey, Terry.
Scene, map animation showing Tucson to Nogales. 8 hours. If you leave the Catalina foothills at 1:50 a.m., you hit Interstate 19 within minutes. It's a straight shot south. At that hour, there is no traffic, no delays. You reach the Nogales crossing in 60 minutes. If you cross that border at 3:00 a.m., by the time the sun rises over Tucson and Nancy's family realizes her bed is empty, you aren't just across the line. You are past Hermosillo. You are 300 miles deep into a sovereign nation where American badges carry no weight, where American drones need permits to fly, and where the standard operating procedure of the FBI becomes a suggestion rather than a rule. This is the golden window for a kidnapper, and as we would soon find out, it was a window that the American investigative machine failed to close. In the first 48 hours after Nancy vanished, the American media machine went into overdrive. The narrative was clear. The FBI was in charge and the border was locked down. Listen to the language used by the major networks. It was almost hypnotic in its uniformity. ABC News. The FBI has reached out to Mexican authorities.
No, they didn't have no cameras on the streets. From what I hear, no. And what they did go ask the neighbors to send in their cameras from January to something to January. But they didn't see anything because there's no, you see how her street is? They just showed her street. There's no cameras there. That block is pitch black dark. That's why I say I could never live on a block like that. I don't understand, how will her daughters allow her as she got older like that to live in a neighborhood like that. They should have, I feel like they should have maybe did more, more cameras, maybe in the back of the house, the side of the house, go out and buy more lighting just around her house because the age that she was, and things could have been seen more, They didn't have much to go on but the doorbell camera, and that's crazy.
NBC News. Standard outreach is underway given the proximity of the border.
Thank you, Terry.
News Nation. Sources say the FBI has contacted Mexican authorities. CBS News. The FBI is in touch with the Mexican government. Reached out, in touch, contacted. These are comfort words. They are designed to tell the public that the adults are in the room. They imply a phone call was made, a file was transferred, and a manhunt was initiated on both sides of the fence.
Looking for tax help? Now there are TurboTax experts right in your neighborhood. They get to know your unique situation and get you every dollar you deserve.
Nigga, she living straight in the desert.
So
like,
hand off your taxes
no
to
life,
a local
no
TurboTax
nothing.
expert today.
I just couldn't do it. I
The
ain't gonna lie.
hot, crispy filet of fish. You either love it or you haven't tried it.
Then came Jason Pack, a retired FBI agent brought onto Fox News to explain the machinery of the border. He painted a picture of a high-tech, high-resource apparatus. He spoke of border liaison agents, specialized officers whose entire job is to maintain real-time relationships with Mexican counterparts. He spoke of the legal attaché office in Mexico City, the Legat, which acts as the formal bridge between the U.S. Embassy and the Mexican Federal Attorney General. He even pointed to the FBI suboffice in Hermosillo, Sonora, just 170 miles south of the border. The message was, don't worry, the machine is on, the relationships exist, the channels are open. TMZ took it a step further. Harvey Levin went on air, citing law enforcement sources, claiming the FBI had instructed Mexican federal law enforcement to broadcast a "be on the lookout" BOLO to every police agency in the country. They reported that Border Patrol cameras and electronic surveillance had been scrubbed. The conclusion the American public reached was simple. Nancy Guthrie might be in Mexico, but the FBI is right behind her. Except while the American media was reporting on the machine, the people who actually operate that machine in Mexico were looking at their phones and seeing nothing. February 19th, 19 days after Nancy Guthrie vanished. While the American networks were still recycling the same, FBI is in touch talking points. The Attorney General of the state of Sonora, Gustavo Romulo Salas Chavez, did something unexpected. He posted a statement in Spanish on X. If you weren't looking for it, you missed it. Most U.S. outlets didn't translate it. Most didn't even mention it. But for those who did, the words were chilling. To date, this institution has not received any formal request for collaboration, assistance, or exchange of information from U.S. authorities. Let's pause there. 19 days of reaching out. 19 days of coordination. And the highest law enforcement official in the state where Nancy was allegedly taken is saying his office hasn't received a single formal request. Then came Carlos Flores, the General Commissioner of the Criminal Investigation Agency for Sonora. He didn't just post on social media. He stood in front of microphones. He looked into the cameras and said the one thing the FBI hadn't told the American public. The FBI informed us that they currently have no leads to suggest that this person could be in Mexico. Think about the disconnect. On the U.S. side, the media is reporting a frantic search across the border. On the Mexican side, the lead investigator is saying the FBI told them not to bother because there were no leads. This isn't just a miscommunication. This is a failure of the institutional channels that Jason Pack and the other pundits promised were automatic. In most kidnappings, the first ransom note is the most critical piece of evidence. It's the kidnapper's hello, their moment of greatest vulnerability. But in the Nancy Guthrie case, the ransom notes didn't just provide a demand, they showed us an evolution. The first message arrived on February 2nd, barely 24 hours after Nancy was reported missing. It was sent to KOLD-TV, a local CBS affiliate in Tucson. This note wasn't a vague threat. It contained details about Nancy's home and what she was wearing, details that had not yet been released to the public. To the FBI, this was the seal of authenticity. They knew then they weren't dealing with a prankster. They were dealing with someone who had been inside that house in the foothills. But then the technology changed. A second note arrived at
I told y'all, I believe it's somebody that been in that home before. And I could be wrong, but I believe it was somebody that know this family and been acquainted with this family and know the ins and outs about Nancy's home and also knows about Nancy.
TMZ, demanding millions in Bitcoin. Former NYPD Commissioner Bill Clark called the move stupid.
Hey, Auntie.
In the world of modern forensics, Bitcoin is no longer the ghost currency it used to be. Every transaction is etched into a public ledger. If a kidnapper tries to move that money into a bank or a real-world exchange, they leave a digital fingerprint. And then on February 18th, the sophisticated note arrived. TMZ founder Harvey Levin described it as a communication that required expert analysis just to decode. The kidnapper had ditched Bitcoin. They had pivoted to a different cryptocurrency, likely a privacy coin like Monero or a system involving conditional mechanisms. This new note had triggers built into it. If certain media conditions were met, one thing happened. If payment was delayed, another mechanism activated.
If you are not real, you're committing a crime. This is the fourth letter you've sent, and I should tell everybody that in this letter, it says, I know what I saw 5 days ago south of the border, and I was told to shut up, so I know who he is, and that was definitely Nancy with them. This is the second time he has referred to more than one person involved in this. He also says one of the reasons he's worried about coming forward is he has a record. He has a burglary on his record from 10 years ago. If you're worried about getting this money and you really do have this information, send it to us. You're sending us these letters. Send it to us. We will forward it to the FBI. So this is a way for you to get that money if this really is.
This wasn't a random criminal anymore. This was a digital architect, someone who understood that the FBI was watching the blockchain and adjusted their entire strategy in real time. It raises the most chilling question of all. Are we looking for a lone wolf or a highly organized group with technical?
I feel like this person was organized. They didn't leave nothing behind. No type of clues, no type of evidence. Like I just don't see nothing they left behind. Nothing. Yes, the daughter reported on it and wait a minute. Yes, the daughter reported on it and it was in their next. The daughter was a reporter. Yes, I do know that. Absolutely. Some parents are strong, willing. The children can't force them to do anything unless they seek legal counsel. Well, I think she did have that over her mom. I think she did too. That's her home. More could have done to keep her safe if someone close. Yes, they were very. Yeah, they was. Yeah. I'm quite sure she had legal stuff over her mom, the home. She was what they call that, Miss Smith? She had that's what attorney. Yeah, because that's what my sister had over my mom. When my mom couldn't do anything, by herself. And what happened when my mom started getting sicker, my sister said hell with the house and everything. At that point, my sister moved my mom in with her. Because, it did take a lot out of my sister working and trying to go down there and make sure my mom was good. And, my mom did have a home health aide. My sister just didn't want any of that anymore. She wanted my mom with her until my mom took her last breath. The job gave her off and all of that stuff. So, I'm just saying it was my mom. Yeah. Listen, at some point when our mom hit a certain age, we have to think for them. Because their minds is not like ours anymore. They go back into a little baby stage when it comes to certain situations. Sometimes they can't do for themselves. They can't think for themselves, and different things like that. So I'm saying, and correct me if I'm right or wrong, Miss Smith, they go back to a little baby stage sometimes. So I'm just saying, if my mom was 84, 85, me and my sisters, no, we would have never allowed my mom to still stay in that house alone. That's a big house. That's in the desert. You have no street lights at all, right? At all. They had one doorbell camera. They had a camera on the roof. Evidently, that camera on the roof did not see everything, because it would have seen everything. They would capture, him in the backyard, side of the house, putting her in the car, taking her out of the house, whatever the situation, would have been. If one camera would have didn't pick up something, the other cameras probably could have picked up something. You get where I'm going, Miss Smith?
Yeah, I get where you're going.
Yeah. So, I think that one camera should have been more cameras on that house. That was a big house to just have one camera on the roof. She knew a lot of details about. Yeah, I'm going to go.
But when I think about it, like down here, everybody does that. Everybody leaves their parents until ripe old ages, in their homes, right? In big homes. But the difference about her is that she was in the country, and they do that even more in the country. Them people.
Yeah. Now I have a supporter right now, right? And her mom still does everything by herself. But she have her mom cameras hooked up to her phone, and she can see her mom. Okay, she monitors her mom. Okay, she monitors her mom.
Yeah, them folks ain't going for that.
She monitors around her mom's house, everything. Mm-hmm. One of my supporters right now that I talk to on a daily. Okay, you ain't getting over when it comes to her mom's house, inside, outside, any of that. She can see all of that on her camera. She have all that connected to her phone. So I just feel like maybe it should have been, I don't know what she was thinking. I'm just speculating, y'all. I don't know.
They was really thinking, I can tell you what they was thinking, Ms. D. They was thinking they really don't need that out there. And one is far away, and it's not a city. It's country living out there, basically.
Right.
And they could see the stars at night. And so I'm sure that one camera was in response to something probably happening in the neighborhood, like somebody broke in.
Well, they got to understand one thing. It may was, but look, it didn't capture nothing, because that camera couldn't capture it. Once something gets dark, a camera's not going to capture that. It's too dark for the camera to capture that. All depends on what type of camera it was. But we can see it was not a good camera, and I'm just speaking how I feel. It wasn't a good camera. It didn't capture anything. Okay, now we know that the cameras was tampered with. They was cut, right? We do know that part. So, and what I say, before the cameras got cut, it probably would have captured him in some type of way. She says, I'm going through that right now. I agree. With your mom? Hey, Miss Joy. And again, we have to thank for our moms, our dads, our uncles, because when they get a certain age, they don't think like we think. You know what I'm saying? Some of them have what they call it, sis? I forgot. Yeah, some of them have dementia. She probably had that also. You got to understand one thing. Her mom even wore hearing aids. So that tells you that her mom hearing was not that good also. Her mom had a pacemaker on, so I'm just saying, y'all, I'm just saying. I mean, I could be wrong about the things I'm saying, but I'm just trying to give a light on, like, I just feel like she shouldn't have been there by herself. But let's continue.
Expertise that rivals the federal government. While the FBI was tracing digital coins, they were also building a physical profile of the suspect from the ground up, and they had to turn to corporate America to do it. Look at the suspect in the doorbell footage. He isn't wearing high-end tactical gear. He's wearing everyday items that you could find in any suburban shopping center, but those items became the keys to the kingdom.
Save up to $5,500 off of Volkswagen Taos during the President's Day sales event at Trend Motors, celebrating.
Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos confirmed that investigators were working directly with Walmart. Why? Because the backpack the suspect was wearing, a 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker pack, is sold exclusively at Walmart. Think about the scale of that investigation. Thousands of Walmarts, tens of thousands of backpacks sold. Investigators aren't just looking for a man, they are looking for a transaction. They are scrubbing thousands of hours of CCTV from Walmart stores across the Southwest, looking for the moment that Ozark Trail pack was pulled off the shelf. But Walmart wasn't the only giant in the room. Google was brought in to recover the lost minutes of the Nest doorbell camera. Parsons Corporation, a massive defense and infrastructure firm, was drafted to provide specialized resources. On the surface, this looks like the ultimate American response. A coalition of tech giants, retail empires, and federal agents, 400 personnel, 20,000 tips, a reward climbing past $200,000. It is the most well-funded search for a single person in recent memory. But as we've seen, all the corporate power and federal funding in the world stops exactly at the border. While the FBI is analyzing backpack fabric and Google servers, Nancy Guthrie may be in a place where Walmart receipts don't matter. If you were in Tucson during the second week of February, you heard the sound. The constant, low-frequency thrum of helicopters circling the foothills. But these weren't standard search and rescue birds. They were equipped with something rarely seen in a missing persons case: Bluetooth signal detection. Nancy Guthrie is 84 years old. She has a pacemaker, and like many modern medical devices, that pacemaker emits a low-energy Bluetooth signal to communicate with her doctor's monitors. The FBI's plan was high-tech and desperate. Fly low enough to catch a ping from Nancy's own heart. If she was being held in a house, a shed, or a car within range, the scanners would, in theory, capture her electronic signature. But this technology has a fatal flaw: range. A Bluetooth signal, especially one coming from inside a human chest, is weak. It can be blocked by thick concrete. It can be smothered by metal walls. It can be silenced by an underground basement. This led private investigator Bill Garcia to a dark conclusion. If the helicopters are coming up empty, it might not be because Nancy is in Mexico. It might be because she is shielded. Garcia suspects she could be hidden in a Faraday cage, a structure designed to block all electromagnetic signals, somewhere in the 100-mile corridor between Tucson and Phoenix. The search for Nancy Guthrie has become a battle of signals. The FBI is looking for a heartbeat in the form of a digital ping, while the kidnapper is using sophisticated encryption to hide their demands. It is a high-stakes game of electronic hide-and-seek, and every hour the signals remain silent, the hope for a recovery fades. While the American side of the border is a theater of high-tech surveillance and billionaire corporations, the Mexican side is a landscape of ghosts. There is no FBI helicopter in Nogales.
Miss Joy, one of my supporters hit me up and told me that yesterday, and you could be right. But one of my supporters, she hit on that with me yesterday too. Behind the scenes, we had a conversation about exactly what you just said.
Sonora. There are no Walmart transactions being traced. There is only a group of women called the Matters Buscadoras de Sonora, the searching mothers of Sonora. These aren't trained agents. They don't have Bluetooth scanners. They have shovels, water bottles, and a bone-deep understanding of what it means to have a family member vanished by the cartels. When the news broke that the FBI hadn't made a formal request to Mexico, the Guthrie family didn't wait for the State Department. Reports indicate they, or someone acting for them, contacted Cesar Flores Armenta, the founder of the Matters Buscadoras. Think about the irony. One of the most powerful families in American media, backed by the full weight of the FBI and a personal call from the president, had to turn to a volunteer group of grieving mothers in Mexico to get boots on the ground. One mother, Guadalupe Trillo, who lost her own son 5 years ago, crossed into Tucson to search.
Now, this lady right here, she been on the scene with the guy that I follow each and every day, y'all, and they cursed her out so bad. Oh my God. One lady lived down the street from Nancy's house, cursed her out like a dog, baby. I mean, that lady was so mean and so rude to her. You know, the lady was not recording her or anything. I mean, oh man, she just went in on this lady right here. But this lady has been out here because she has lost a son. So she has been out here with people since day one that this had happened. I know who this lady is. I've been following this story.
Search the rugged terrain around Nancy's home. She wasn't looking for a digital footprint. She was looking for a physical one. The Matters Buscadoras represent the true Mexico, the one the FBI pundits don't talk about. They are the only ones searching the ravines and the abandoned ranches south of the line.
A few women from Mexico who came out here to search for Nancy Guthrie. They're called Madres Buscadoras de Sonora, or Searching Mothers of Sonora. It's a Mexican nonprofit organization dedicated to finding lost people. Yesterday, the group posted on their social media about Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, asking for the public support in sharing the message. They're asking that if anyone has any information that could help find Guthrie, to call them, saying you can report it anonymously. The group has hundreds of volunteers, and I had the chance to speak with one who came to Tucson from Nogales.
Empatizo con ellos porque pues esto no se ha visto.
This is something you don't see a lot of here, the disappearance of a person, and even more the disappearance.
See all the media, y'all? This is right in front of Nancy's house. All this media. This is front of Nancy's house. This is the street of Nancy's where she lives. Y'all don't see no street lights, right? Now, I watches this 24/7 a day, okay? In the mornings and when I get off my lives. It is so dark out there, y'all. You don't see nothing. The only lights that you see out there is that you see the media. They have lights set up out there until they leave the crime scene, okay? That's their lights that be out there. But now they have lights out there that I think the city came and put some out there that they can only go down a one-way, because this is a two-way street, but it was so much going on. So they got the cars coming one way now. So they got the little lights out there on the street now, and that's not a lot. But before that, it was nothing, y'all. Literally nothing. This lady here is standing in front of Nancy's house. It's nothing. I don't see in the dark out there. A guy have went live out there that I follow, and it's nothing. Nothing out there. You can't see anything.
Of an elderly person.
Lydia Hernandez tells me her son Jorge has been missing for 6 years, and so she says she came out to help in any way she can because she can understand what the family is going through. And Hernandez says she believes her experience in looking for missing persons can help in Guthrie's disappearance.
Ever so little knowledge over terrain, over the fields, because I have experience. And while that's my wish, is to empathize with this family, because I know what it feels like to have someone missing.
When the sawdust settles and the engine roars, the thing you care about is the job well done. But when you get your tools from...
They are the only ones who know that in Sonora, people don't just disappear, they are taken. And they know that if the government isn't looking, the mothers have to. As the mothers begin their search, the gap between the two countries has never been wider. On one side, 400 agents and a $200,000 reward. On the other, a group of women who search for the dead to find peace for the living. As the investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance enters its third week, we are left with a staggering, undeniable reality. The machine we were told was hunting for her in Mexico doesn't actually exist. The FBI has repeatedly told the American public that they are in touch and coordinating with Mexican officials. But on February 19th, the Attorney General of Sonora, Gustavo Romulo Salas Chavez, And the head of Mexico's Criminal Investigation Agency, Carlos Flores, stood before the world and cleared the air. They stated, plainly and on the record, that they have received no formal request for collaboration. No case file has been opened. No Mexican detectives have been assigned. No joint task force has been formed. In the language of international law enforcement, a formal request is the only thing that matters. Without it, there is no investigation. There is only silence. And in that silence, a different group has stepped in. The Madres Buscadores de Sonora, the Searching Mothers, are currently the only organized force on Mexican soil physically looking for Nancy Guthrie. While the FBI analyzes digital data in D.C. and the sheriff manages crowds in Tucson, these women are walking the brush of Sonora with nothing but shovels and the hope of a mother who refuses to forget. They have even announced plans to request humanitarian visas to cross into the U.S. and assist the search on both sides of the line. Think about that. A volunteer group of grieving mothers is showing more international initiative than the two most powerful law enforcement agencies in North America. The Nancy Guthrie case has exposed a terrifying glitch in the system. We have the technology to track a heartbeat from a helicopter and the power to trace a dollar through the blockchain, but we apparently lack the diplomatic will to pick up a phone and ask for help. Who is really looking for Nancy? If she is across that line, she isn't being sought by agents in suits or high-tech drones. She is being sought by the mothers of the vanished. And as the clock ticks, their voices are the only ones breaking the silence of the border.
So, now, hold on. Hold on 1 second. So, what do you think, sis? I mean, just a lot, y'all. It's a lot to recover. You know. Let me see. Hold on. I don't want to play the same one again, so because there's so many of them. Oh, Lord. Let's see. Let me see this one.
Continuing to follow all of the developments regarding the search for Nancy Guthrie. It is week 3 of that search, and investigators are still trying to recover more evidence, focusing also on some DNA found inside of a glove. I want to turn our attention now to Caroline Elliott with Fox News. She is joining us live just outside of Nancy's home. Caroline, what do we know in regards to where this investigation stands today?
Yeah, Kirill, good morning. There's a lot to break down here this morning. The sheriff did share those DNA results yesterday, and he said that they put those DNA samples into the database and they did not get a match. So the sheriff says the work here is still underway. We know now his team is looking at additional DNA evidence inside the home to see if they can try to figure out who this person is.
We haven't narrowed it down to anything other than we have certain pieces of evidence that we're looking at.
After testing DNA found inside Nancy Guthrie's home, the Pima County Sheriff said investigators could not find a match.
You chase leads until you either make it or eliminate it.
And now tracking down the suspect will likely take a lot longer. Investigators are turning to genetic genealogy mapping instead, but that can take weeks or possibly longer.
It's not
going to be easy to solve this case.
Investigators have cleared the entire Guthrie family, including spouses, saying they are not suspects. But we still don't know what evidence the sheriff used to clear the family. Investigators are now working with Walmart and visiting gun stores in Tucson to try to track down the gun holster worn by the suspect.
The desert doesn't just keep secrets, it swallows them whole. On the morning of February 1st, in the quiet, affluent shadows of Tucson's
because they did say he had a pew-pew on him. They did say that. I heard that from another channel also, that he did have a pew-pew on him and a holster. Yes, they said that.
Catalina foothills, the dry Arizona air held a stillness that felt almost predatory. For Nancy Guthrie, a 73-year-old woman whose life was built on the pillars of family and routine, that silence was about to be shattered by a nightmare that few could imagine, and even fewer could survive. It started not with a scream, but with a disconnection. At exactly 1:47 in the morning, the digital eyes guarding Nancy's home.
And you want to be honest, y'all? I don't think he took that pew-pew there to do anything to Nancy. I think he took that pew-pew there because anybody else in that household, he probably would have used that on them. But I don't think it was actually took there for Nancy. Now, what do y'all think? Y'all can give me y'all opinion in the chat. But I don't think that. But I think he did take it there because if he went there and somebody else was there, they probably would have got it. What do you think, Miss Smith?
I don't know. I think that might just be his lifestyle, like, to carry it. Because I definitely think if he took it to use on Nancy, he wouldn't have taken it.
Right. Exactly. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah. And yeah, you're right. That could be his lifestyle. And also, too, if anybody else was there, he would have used it. He would definitely pulled it, and he definitely would have used it.
But if we think about it, who else would have been at the lady's house? It would have been her.
I was just going to say, excuse me. I was just going to say that, Miss Smith. I was going to say who else he thought would have been there. Then he could have been thinking, too, well, I don't know who in there. He could have been thinking, well, maybe she is by herself. She live alone. She's by herself. Maybe she's the only one in there, but I don't know who could be else in there with her. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I think he one of them criminals where he go in and he mess up the whole play. And that's why he had the pew-pew on him. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you'll have friends. Well, I don't have friends like that, but you can have people you go on a crime spree with, and we've seen it before. And that's why they had that law. If your friend does something and you with them, you did it too. You know what I'm saying? And he one of the kind that probably, if they did a burglary somewhere, and he shoot the convenience store clerk or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what he seemed. That's what that seems like. Like he just brought the wrong tool for the job.
Right. Okay. This is so heartbreaking. It is. It really is. This has been going on way too long. I hope that she's been cared for properly, and I hope she's still alive. Me too, sis. Me too. But they did make a good point on the last video I played about the heart, the monitor she got. If she's in a different place underground and stuff like that, it won't show nothing. It won't show nothing. Mm-hmm. It won't pick up anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. Even her doctor, they said, wouldn't even be able to pick it up. So these got the evil.
Her Nest doorbell camera went dark. The feed cut to black, a mechanical blindness that signaled the beginning of a calculated invasion. For 25 minutes, the house sat in a void of information. Then, at 2:12 a.m., the system flickered with a ghostly awareness. It detected movement. It felt a presence. But the footage was gone, seemingly erased into the ether of the digital cloud. Imagine the scene through the
And if y'all can see his glove, that pinky finger got a ring on it. If y'all look closely, right there, he has a ring on that pinky finger under them gloves.
The eyes of the investigators who would arrive later. A home that showed no outward signs of a struggle, yet vibrated with the heavy, sickening realization that something was fundamentally wrong. Nancy was gone, but she hadn't just walked away. She was a woman who relied on a pacemaker to keep her heart beating, a piece of technology that was now a ticking clock in a race against time.
Local tax experts are here. Now you can meet with a TurboTax expert in your community.
For 10 days, the FBI worked in a vacuum of evidence. They had no
Look how big
suspect,
this house is,
no
y'all.
direction,
Look.
and no visual of the person who had
This is
stepped
a
onto that
big
porch.
house.
The investigation looked, to the outside world, like it was stalling. But behind the scenes, digital forensic experts were performing a high-stakes exhumation. They weren't just looking at the camera. They were digging into the server infrastructure of Google itself. And then they found it. Residual data, a digital shadow that had refused to be deleted. When the footage finally flickered to life in an FBI lab, it revealed a sight that would chill even the most veteran agents. A figure emerged from the darkness of the front porch. This wasn't a desperate opportunist. This was a shadow prepared for war. The person was clad in a ski mask, the eye holes revealing nothing but intent. They wore gloves and a dark jacket, their hands moving with a chilling deliberateness as they reached up to cover the lens. In a moment of surreal, low-tech interference, the intruder ripped a plant from Nancy's own yard and used it to block the camera's view. But before the lens was obscured, the FBI saw the most terrifying detail of all: a holstered handgun resting against the suspect's hip. The physical profile was now
So, okay, y'all, another question. Y'all help me. All right, we know, now I know my cameras. All my cameras is hooked to my phone, right? So that's how normally cameras work now. Everybody I know, they're hooked to their phone. When you out, you can see the inside of your goddamn house. You can see the outside of your house. You can see the fucking movements. So my thing is, who phone was these cameras hooked to? Was these cameras hooked to Nancy's phone, or was these cameras hooked to her mom's phone? That's a good question. I would love to know. What do you say, Miss Smith?
Oh, it could have been hooked up to both.
Okay. And the reason why I asked that question is because any little thing, those cameras go. You see how my camera's still going off and I'm on live? Girl, goes off for every little thing, even when a goddamn dog walk down the block, child. But, you know, I know y'all heard my camera be going off sometime when I'm on live, because my camera picks up everything, right? Now, I don't look at everything sometime during the day, but at night I definitely do, because it wakes me up. And if my camera started going off more than one, at least more than 2 times, I will get up and look at my phone. That's just me. I'm used to doing that. I will get up and I will view my outside, because if it keep alerting me, that means to tell me something is not right on the outside of my house. Okay, so that's why I was asking, what do y'all think? Was it hooked up to the daughter phone and the mother phone? Which, you know, the mother was elderly, probably didn't keep up with it. You know, was it hooked up to the daughter phone? Did the daughter see the camera kept going off? Did she look into the camera to see what was going on? I mean,
I'm gonna tell you, I don't think that.
Yes, they said she didn't have a subscriber. The daughter.
No, they saying she didn't have a subscription, but she didn't have to have a subscription. But that took them a little longer to get the video footage because she didn't have a subscription.
Okay, so that tells it the daughter did not have it hooked to her phone. And you're absolutely right, sis. And I don't know why I didn't think about that, because it was hooked to the daughter phone. They could have went straight to the daughter phone and got everything out of the daughter phone. So now you're taking me back.
No, the subscription is just to store older footage and to store the footage. But that's what the subscription is for. But
well, you can go back to well, yeah, you gotta have a description, yeah.
Yeah, but it still can be linked. That account, your camera account, can be linked to more than one phone. It could have been linked to both of her daughters, but you can also turn the notifications off, you know, and
No, I
not
don't
check
turn.
your
I
camera.
don't. I don't turn my notifications
No,
on.
yeah, I'm saying the one daughter works a lot. She's, you know, news reporter or whatever, so she may be busy. She may not even have the notification set for the camera if she even has the subscription. So I would say that would be something I do, because I wouldn't think in that area, I wouldn't think anybody was really coming from my mom.
Well, one of the lady that used to live in that area, she doesn't live in that area no more. She sold her house and she moved because she did say that that area is not a good area anymore. It's not like it was years ago. She said years ago they could leave their doors open, all of that. She said that area has got bad over the years. Now, this is what this lady says. She came back to visit because she heard about what happened to Nancy, and she did a live interview with one of the guys out there, and this is what she said. Does it still record?
Yes, it's still it shows you motion and everything like that. It doesn't store a lot of footage, so you get what you saw. That's it. You'll get a playback maybe for a few hours.
And I think you have to pay extra for the storage too. I think you have to pay extra for that.
You have to pay extra for the storage.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, y'all. I'm just making some assumptions here. Like I don't know.
Etched in stone, a male roughly 5'9" to 5'10" with an average build. He carried a black 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker pack, a common item, yet a specific one, sold exclusively at Walmart. But as the agents leaned in, they noticed a flaw in his preparation, a detail that suggested a dangerous mix of planning and amateurism. The holster was a cheap strategy brand designed for a revolver, yet the weapon tucked inside was a semi-automatic pistol. This was the man the FBI was now hunting, not a...
Now, when they said tucked in, they mean in his holster, in his pants. Now, I watched another live last week with another content creator that be lives on this scene every single day. He flew in from Florida. He's been here since it's been going on. And he interviewed somebody, and somebody was saying they don't think that he had it in his pants when he was driving, but he could have had it in the car seat, because if he would have had it on him while he was driving, pressing down on his leg, so they feel like he had it on the car seat of the car, and when he got out the car to approach Nancy's house, he put it in his holster. What do you say about that, Miss Smith? Because I did agree with the guy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Wow.
Not a professional hitman, but something perhaps more unpredictable. A man who had planned his mask and his backpack, but didn't even know how to match his holster to his gun. The hunt had officially begun. The doorbell footage was the first domino to fall, but it would set off a chain reaction that would lead the FBI from the aisles of local Walmarts to the high-tech labs of genetic genealogy, narrowing a world of 50,000 leads down to a single, terrifying face. This case is developing by the hour. If you want to stay updated on every breakthrough in the Nancy Guthrie investigation, make sure to subscribe to True Crime Tailies and turn on the notification bell. Like this video to help us bring more attention to Nancy's story, and let us know in the comments. Do you think the suspect's amateur mistakes with his gear will be what ultimately leads to his capture? Share this video. Your share could be the one that reaches someone with the missing piece of this puzzle.
Hold on, y'all. And I appreciate everybody that's trying to
Already ready.
To understand the tragedy that unfolded in the Catalina foothills, one must first understand the woman who made that house a home. Nancy Guthrie was not a person of mystery. She was a person of consistency. At 73, her life was an open book written in the ink of service and family. A retired school teacher, she possessed that rare, patient warmth that only comes from decades of shaping young minds. In her neighborhood, she was the anchor, the one who remembered birthdays, the one whose garden was always manicured, and the one whose presence provided a sense of suburban security. But Nancy's world was smaller than it once was. Her life revolved around a tight-knit circle, primarily her daughter who lived nearby, and her grandchildren who were the center of her universe. Nancy wasn't a woman of excess. She was a woman of health and heart. Despite her vibrant spirit, her body required a mechanical assist, a pacemaker that regulated the rhythm of her life. It was a detail she managed with the same grace she applied to everything else, never letting it slow her down. To those who knew her, Nancy was the embodiment of the golden years, safe, respected, and deeply loved. Yet every anchor is subject to the currents beneath the surface. While Nancy's life appeared serene, the investigation began to pull back the veil on the people who inhabited her orbit. The FBI didn't just look at her enemies, they looked at her connections. They looked at the people who knew her schedule, the people who knew her vulnerabilities, and the people who knew exactly where that Nest camera was mounted. In the quiet corridors of her social circle, tensions were vibrating like a tuned string. There were whispers of financial anxieties within the extended family network, the kind of quiet, desperate stress that rots a relationship from the inside out. There were stories of disagreements over property and inheritance, the mundane squabbles that usually end in a slammed door, not a kidnapping. But as the FBI charted the movements of those closest to her, a pattern began to emerge. It wasn't a pattern of overt violence, but of obsession and control. They found a digital trail that suggested someone had been watching not just the house, but the very technology meant to protect it. Someone had been researching bypasses for home security systems. Someone had been looking at how to disable a Nest camera without an alert. The tragedy of Nancy Guthrie wasn't just that she was targeted. It was the dawning realization that her predator wasn't a stranger lurking in the desert scrub, but a wolf who already had a key to the gate. The FBI began to look at the dreams this suspect harbored, dreams of a life funded by assets he hadn't earned. They saw a man who viewed Nancy not as a grandmother or a friend, but as an obstacle to a payday. The contrast was gut-wrenching. Nancy, a woman who gave everything to her community, and a suspect who was prepared to take everything for himself. The fault lines were widening, and as the investigation moved into the red flags phase, the authorities realized that the warning signs had been flashing for months, if only someone had known where to look. As the trail in the Catalina foothills threatened to grow cold, the investigation didn't just expand, it ascended. In a display of federal power rarely seen in missing persons cases, the FBI deployed an arsenal of high-tech surveillance that turned the Arizona sky into a laboratory for justice. The quiet neighborhoods and rugged desert terrain became the grid for a search that merged the biological with the digital, centered on the one piece of evidence the kidnapper couldn't erase, the pacemaker keeping Nancy's heart in rhythm. The most chilling development was the appearance of signal sniffer helicopters. These weren't standard patrol units. They were equipped with specialized sensors designed to detect the low-power electronic signatures emitted by medical implants. Flying in tight, low-altitude grid patterns, these birds of prey scanned the landscape for the unique electronic heartbeat of Nancy Guthrie. In a move of surgical precision, the sheriff's department began working directly with the pacemaker's manufacturer to identify the exact signal characteristics of her specific device, turning a life-saving medical tool into a homing beacon for federal agents. But the search wasn't just in the air, it was in the airwaves. By February 4th, just 3 days after Nancy vanished, authorities had deployed Bluetooth scanners mounted on helicopter hulls. They were looking for any device, any connection that shouldn't be there. This coincided with the heavy hitters from the FBI's Cellular Analysis Survey team, known as CAST. They began an exhaustive tower dump, logging every single cell phone that pinged towers near Nancy's home between midnight and 4 a.m. on the night of the abduction. This data allowed the FBI to build a movement map, identifying every digital ghost that moved through the area when the cameras went dark. The tension in the investigation reached a fever pitch with a series of aggressive physical maneuvers. The public watched as a coordinated SWAT operation descended on a property in Rio Rico, while another high-stakes raid shattered the silence of a Friday night. These weren't random searches. They were the result of the field narrowing. Each person detained and each vehicle examined, including a high-profile stop of a Range Rover linked to the investigation, was a systematic step toward the truth. The federal government's involvement brought a sense of desperate urgency. CNN analysts noted that the tempo of these raids suggested the FBI believed Nancy might still be alive, and that they were moving fast enough to prioritize a rescue over a perfect evidence chain.
With the back pain that I was feeling, I didn't even want to live no more. It's crazy to say, but man, back pain is...
The investigation was no longer just about finding a suspect. It was a high-speed pursuit through digital trails and desert hideouts, with the FBI sending a clear message to the kidnapper. We aren't just looking for you, we are already here. The investigation into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie transitioned from a frantic search to a cold, methodical siege. While the public watched the skies for helicopters, the real progress was being measured in microliters of DNA and the silent pings of a digital ghost. The breakthrough didn't come from a single eureka moment, but from a relentless accumulation of data points that began to surround a specific target. The forensic timeline established by the FBI was harrowing in its precision. They didn't just know when Nancy vanished, they knew how the house was silenced. January 31st, 9:50 p.m., Nancy is dropped off by her family. The garage door closes, sealing her inside what should have been her sanctuary. February 1st, 1:47 a.m., the Nest doorbell camera is manually disconnected. 2:12 a.m., the system's internal software, despite the lack of a video feed, detects a person on the porch. 2:28 a.m., the most devastating piece of evidence. Nancy's pacemaker app records a final disconnect from her phone. Her heart was still beating, but she was no longer in control of her environment. As the days bled into weeks, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos and the FBI began a series of high-stakes physical operations. The public witnessed a dramatic SWAT raid on a residence near East Orange Grove Road, just 2 miles from Nancy's home. Simultaneously, a gray Range Rover was intercepted and seized in a Culver's parking lot. Forensic teams moved in like ghosts, sealing the trunk and wrapping the vehicle in protective sheets, searching for a single strand of hair or a microscopic drop of blood that would bridge the gap between person of interest and kidnapper. The tension between local and federal authorities, however, became its own subplot. Reports surfaced of a procedural rift. While the FBI pushed for evidence to be sent to their state-of-the-art lab in Quantico,
Promised Savannah Guthrie's family the full support of federal law enforcement. FBI is now...
I'll give you a little statement. I think we're doing very well on that regard. You're probably surprised to hear that. I think we're doing very well. Very well, meaning we have some clues, I think, that are very strong. And I think we could have some answers coming up.
I really don't want to hear you.
Nationwide search. Is this a search going to
leads until you either make it or eliminate it?
Investigators recovered a pair of gloves 2 miles from the residence, gloves that matched the black nitrile ones seen.
So you know what, y'all?
Footage.
I'm going to take y'all to a live screen right now, right? This is going on in front of Nancy's house right now as we speak. So let me take y'all into a live screen.
Too quiet.
Now,
Turn your sound from 100% to 600% with Sound Boom. Just hit Add to Chrome. It installs in seconds. Click the icon, boost the volume. That's it. Works on every side.
Okay, y'all, this is at her house live. This is who there.
I already told him.
Oh, okay.
I told him. He actually asked me.
Okay.
He's aware.
This is what's
really
going on
didn't-
at her
he didn't
house
really know.
right now as we speak.
That's why he asked me. He can choose
These
to
is
do
the
whatever he
same
wants.
people that was there today, which I think this is the FBI. There was tons of them.
Yo.
This guy's from Florida, y'all. He been here since day one. See? It's in front of her house right now. A lot of media. This is so sad.
All right, it appears they're leaving. They're leaving. I'm gonna go down here. Just give me. I'm gonna get my other
the media, y'all.
thing because
Everywhere.
everyone's been down there. I'm gonna get my other thing and I'll come back.
Oh my God, they're everywhere. Oh shit! Hold on, y'all. My daggone tablet get ready to die on me. Hold on. I don't know what they found. I don't know why they came. It's 24 hours police there at her house every single day. They switch shifts.
Okay, so we don't know who was in the. All right, they left. They left. They left. But it could be still people here because the white car is still here.
Hey, Cameron.
But there's still that white car down there in the back, the white SUV.
Look at the media, y'all. They've been here since day one. Oh my God. This is horrible. Oof. I hope they find this lady.
All right, so the 3 ones left, but the white one is still in the back.
If anybody would like to donate, my coffee link is pinned on the top.
Big style, big savings. The big sale starts now. Save 30% on drapery, plus 25% on all blinds.
Some people suggest go over to Annie and Tomaso's home now. I'm going to look and see. Just monitor.
Yeah, cruise by Annie's and there was zero activity out there. So
Nothing? You went past there?
Just right before here. So
You did?
Yeah.
But I'm
Nothing
wondering
going
if
on.
something's going to happen now, like if they're going to go over there
maybe
next
some gas right over there.
or not.
Yeah, this is already take the shade and shade. And you let them take where we have two of them. The ABC left. This is nice. Makes a difference.
Everyone's down here still focused on this vehicle. We'll wait and see what comes out of that.
Y'all, this is so
That was
sad.
insane.
Like literally. And today, early when I was
Yeah, the white
watching
one's
his
still here.
live, early when I was watching his live today, I think they was changing the locks on that screen door. Yeah. Cause I seen them at that screen door and I seen some drilling. So they could have been doing that. Y'all, this man got 43,000 people watching his live. And this is an everyday thing for him.
Somebody should go over past Annie and Tomaso's, man. I should go over.
I'll go do that now. And I'll text 857.
Yeah.
So,
Are you
it's on the
leaving?
way home. So if anything.
Yeah. See if anybody's over there.
Yeah.
So you head out that way anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta
So I'll
text
text you if there's anything going on.
Cool.
All right, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Later.
Good job, Monkey.
I wonder if they think that everybody left, or do they still think there's people back there? It appears like everybody left, right?
No, there's that white vehicle's still back
truck.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me just, can I get this in here a little bit? We'll just keep this here and wait and see. We're also getting somebody to go over there. What's his name? Monkey.
Righteous Monkey.
Righteous
on
Monkey.
YouTube.
He's Righteous Monkey on
covering a lot of
YouTube is going to go over to Annie and Tomaso's and just text us because he has to go that way anyway and just see if there's anything going on over there.
That is interesting, though. If the FBI just came over here and didn't even alert the sheriff, or the sheriff did the sheriff know? Is that Simone's brother?
I don't
Look at this.
Does it look like him?
I mean,
It's the same hat.
Just the hat. Let me see if it is the same hat. No.
And y'all see the little cones they got out there? And that's what I was telling y'all earlier in the live, right? The little cones they got out here, that's what I was telling y'all earlier in the live. That's the only light, y'all, that they have on this street now, okay? And they have that because there's so many medias coming out there, you know, with this case. If this was a two-way street, so they can't have it a two-way street now, you know, because there's so much going on with the traffic and the meteors out there. So that's why they put these cones there. So that's the only lights they got out there, y'all, at night. The only lights, okay? It is pitch black, dark out there, okay? Pitch black. You can see nothing.
There was a guest on News Nation that said that at the FBI or the prosecution investigators from their formal attire, they could be prosecutors in the FBI versus the FBI agents we saw.
Yeah.
They weren't dressed in suits.
She been missing since February the 1st, Auntie. She been missing. Yeah. So March the 1st, which is, I think that's Sunday. I think it'll make a month, if I'm not mistaken. Saturday or Sunday, it'll make a month. No leads, no nothing as of yet, no nothing. But the FBI was at her house this morning. This is the live that they was at her house this morning, and I watched half of it before I came live. I'm gonna see, can I take y'all back when they was first there today? Let me see, can I go back to that? I don't know how far it was, y'all. Let me see. Let me see how far it was when they was first there. This morning. Okay. Now, this is when they first got there this morning.
They're leaving?
He said later. Later, Jared, or later somebody.
Okay. So this is the part I want y'all to see. When they first got there on the scene at Nancy's house this morning.
They're leaving.
Both are leaving.
Nah, one's leaving. He's staying.
Hold on, guys. What happened?
The other one just pulled back in front of the garage. No, he might be going out too.
Hey, what was that about, guys? Oh, wait. Oh, he's backing up. Hey, come on. He's back there. All right, got the drone on, guys.
You could tell by the light on his vehicle. Oh, you got the drone on. Fuck.
Yeah.
Mark the Shark comes in.
Went to the back.
Went to the back. Mark the Shark got it good.
Let me go on this side.
Yeah.
See, y'all, he got a drum. He can look all in the back of the house, the other guy. One of his other people he with.
Went to the back. He got the drone.
Did you go into the garage?
He's in the back.
Sound too low? Here's how to fix it. Open a sound boom. Instant volume boost up to 600%. Boom!
He hasn't come out.
Just pick a picture.
Yeah.
So what is that?
It's the backyard.
So he's back there.
It's just, yeah, he went back there.
In the house?
In the house.
Wonder what they came back to look for today.
Went in the back. Patio.
Are they looking for more clothing or maybe anything? It could be anything they're looking for.
I got the drone up. 3 drones are up. I hope you guys can see that. Yeah, he walked in with no gloves and booties. Another girl. So I got the camera right here. Oh, reception. Okay, hold on.
No, the guy in the hat, I don't know. It looked like some sort of contractor and he left. This is definitely Ali. You can just tell. You look at the right corner. Because I swear I saw a badge on his side.
I actually were able to get for some of the stuff, but I think I will figure out.
I'm going to keep it right here so we can learn more what this could be about.
I would love to know what they was looking for this morning. I would love to know what they was looking for this morning.
Yeah, mics are open.
Thank you, sis. I appreciate you. You're welcome. You're welcome anytime, sis. I don't mind covering any story. I like to cover, good stories and stories to, put things to light. And, I love doing this. This is what I love to do. I really do. I really, really do. I love this. No matter if I had 10 people in my chat, I love what I do. And I appreciate your support. Thank you. Let me take y'all to this part here.
I know of at Annie's home.
Look at all the media, y'all, in front of her house. This is all the media lined up in front of Nancy's home. And this is today. This is today. Again, this is the only light that you're going to get from the streets. I'm going to keep this lady in prayer every single day.
Oh, he's back. He's back. He's back. Somebody's in the car with him. He's back.
I like this news reporter right here.
He's back.
He big on YouTube, y'all. Go
Somebody
follow
else
him.
is in the car with him. A woman. A woman is in the front seat.
When I say he do good coverage, very good coverage.
There's some woman in the front seat.
He's not from there, y'all. He's from Florida, but he flew in on this case because this is what he do. He's a YouTuber, but he goes all around the world and he covers cases. And I've been following him for a while. He covered a lot of cases, and he flew out to here to Arizona for this case, and he been here ever since. Have not left. And there's so many supporters that live in Arizona. Come past, feed him, make sure he got what he needs. Even if he need money for anything, he tells them don't give him nothing. He good, but they still come past to make sure all the YouTubers that be out here on this scene on a daily, they eat, got water to drink, juices. They even had delivered them batteries to keep their phone, to keep new batteries in their phones, to keep their phone charges. Like, these people have really been blessing these YouTubers.
See, with him.
And one day I wish I can become like this. Let's travel and, and get stories. This is very interesting. You meet good people.
Who was that? Who was that? A female and maybe some sort of detective? Drilling?
Like, watch this. That, the high pitch, not this. A little while ago when there was no one out here, and that guy was still in there, it was still like
drilling.
It was like it's like a dentist.
Years. I didn't.
Some sort of it keeps happening.
Drilling.
Like a dentist drill.
Maybe trying to get rid of the cameras.
Yeah.
You can hear that? My goodness. Suitcase.
You see they came out with a suitcase, y'all?
One guy stayed behind.
That's what I said too, Miss Thompson. I was saying that somebody knows this family. No, they haven't acted none lately.
Hear that? See? Yeah, it's a vacuum or some drilling.
It's something like I told you.
See, they sound like somebody drilling in the house. Hold on.
Thomas will be a key part of extending our advertising and marketing campaign.
Hold on.
Today we're going to talk about the 2026 PLL and WLL Championship Series.
It's not like we're
They're drilling.
You said they drilling. You funny.
Doing some sort of drilling. It's law enforcement. There's 3 inside now. 2 males, 2 female, or 1 female. 2 males, 1 female inside the house.
Where is Nancy?
Be taking a tile up for new blood sample, or maybe undrilling like a camera mount, maybe, or something. What do you guys think? I mean, unless you're just hearing things with the drilling, but I heard this.
Yeah, wonder what they're drilling.
And it's not the drones. Because that camera's going up. Perhaps removing a tile to take for DNA samples instead of back and forth with bad sample. I would think they would bring like a forensic team, though, if it was anything to do with DNA, like forensics. This is either feds or detectives. It's not like normal, like Pima County, like deputies or anything like that. These are serious people here. Live outside Nancy Guthrie's home, folks. JLR investigates. Something's going on inside this home.
Yeah, absolutely. Something definitely going on. What do you think, Miss Smith?
I think they hope they found something. And I hope they did too.
Yeah, me too. Because this was this morning before I came live. And this guy, he's still actually live, but I just went back to the beginning of his live when it first happened because I wanted to check to see what took place at her residence this morning. Because this guy, he do lives 12 hours a day.
So I'm just going to keep the camera here planted. We'll most likely say at one point, one of three people come out, two or three, or all three of them. There's three people inside, two males, one female inside the Guthrie home right now. They went through the back. This angle's a little bit better here. Like here, so right here. Unfortunately, I like this spot because I'm in the shade, but there is a tree in front where we can clearly see.
It's very hot out there.
Yes, it's what's going on. Yeah, no Mount Lemon. No Mount Lemon. We're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere for now. No Mount Lemon. And I let Dad's going live know until we find out what's going on here. And some people even suggest don't go to Mount Lemon just in case something happens at the house, because it is an hour and a half to get up there, an hour and a half back. We would have been missing what was going on. It's kind of why we're at these scenes, right? When these things pop up, I think this is a big deal that they're back here again, doing something back there in that house. Will they be able to find something or gather something to help them solve this case? This is day 25, Nancy Guthrie. Day 25, and law enforcement is back again inside the house. I'm not so sure about DNA collection, because I think it'll be more like forensic type thing. Oh, shoot. We got a rack of them coming. Holy smokes. Whoa, whoa.
Wow.
Man, they're feds. Suits. Holy smoke. Law enforcement. Oh, my goodness.
He said, holy smoke.
Whoa. Big deal. They're just all over the place. Feds everywhere.
They're not playing at Nancy house today, y'all. I don't know what took place. I don't know, but they're not playing today.
Feds all over the place. Here they come. Here they come. Definitely feds.
Whoa, look at him.
Whoa.
What the heck?
Ooh,
Holy smokes.
wow.
Nice. Look at that, suits. We got suits coming in.
Please find this lady. My God.
Oh. Dude, they came in.
They came in deep.
Nanos. Where's Nanos at? Do you guys see Nanos? I didn't see that dude. I saw suits. Attorneys, maybe? No, that's feds.
They're feds.
Yeah, feds for sure.
Y'all hear the media.
Dang, FBI is no joke, guys.
They came in quick.
They came in hot. They said we're taking over. Nanos is probably sleeping right now, guys. Come on. Feds, feds, feds. Everybody's saying feds.
It is a one-way.
They came in the wrong way. They came in the wrong way, yeah. They came out the wrong way? Yeah.
FBI here. Dude, there's 3 SUVs that came in Tahoes.
Hold on. I hope they find something. I really, really do. That can lead them to Nancy. Or either lead them to whoever abducted her.
Dude, they came down here quick, man. They came down the one-way street. They went the opposite way. Something is cooking, folks. Something. I'll just show you here. These black Tahoes. Something is cooking here. This one. There's another one I think I pulled over there by the side. I don't want to go in front of everyone's camera, block everyone's view. Where's that other SUV? Back. So there's one in the back there, along with another white SUV. One. There's another one. So they're all here. I'm going to use this spot right here because they're going to all come around this corner. This could be the break of the case.
I hope
stuff
so.
Going on right here.
I really hope so.
FedEx coming through.
Now I have to keep an eye on the road and see if even more come. I'm gonna ask Mark the Shark if he did. I'm gonna go up there and ask my drone guy. Hold on, let me just ask what's going on.
Yeah, one part.
Is it up? I messaged Melissa.
Yes, prayers for Nancy. That's right. Yes, sis. We're going to keep her in prayers. We're going to keep her family uplifted in prayers because at this time, they definitely does need it. But again, I do believe it's someone that's very, very close to this family. And maybe I'll be wrong at the end of the day. I don't know, but that's where I'm going to stand at for now.
All right, so 4 of them came out. Yeah, there's 4 of them. Yes, you can.
So these are Baker JLR, 4 pets come out of the vehicles. But 3 pulled up, right?
Yeah, 4 of them are out on the back right now. 4 of them standing in the back.
Wow. Hey, Copies.
So I'm going to just spin this around, folks, and just show you for a second. They're out there. Some are out there. There's more than 4. I would say there's probably about 10 maybe total law enforcement around here, about 10. So there's some outside and there's some inside the house right now. This is looks like some sort of group huddle going on.
Wow.
She's not at the house, glow up.
So it looks like it appears there's multiple outside, inside. This might be a whole entire Fed operation, maybe.
Now, Miss D, I wonder if they doing a handover from the regular police department to the FBI, and this is their first investigation without police interference.
Right, because they was saying that. Hold on, let me put this on pause.
It doesn't appear. None of them are Pima County. No.
They was saying at first that they felt like the FBI should have been took over. They felt like that things would have got a little clearer to the community. They feel like that sheriff got it out. I played earlier. Everybody was upset with him. They feel like he was leaving a lot of things out. They feel like he cleared the family too fast and things in that nature. They feel like they didn't do a good search on the house. So I think now the FBI done took over. You know, maybe they could come with more clues and evidence and whatever they may find inside of the house. I don't know. But they have took over. And this is today, y'all. For the ones that just coming in, this is today. This happened today. That the FBI came out to Nancy's house. They did come out with a suitcase so far.
I don't believe that sheriff at all.
Yeah, the front door.
Ooh, Lord, look at him, Lord. He's a good blogger. I like him. We zoom in.
Front door. Going back over. Here's they're all in the front door.
Look at the media, y'all. Ooh, they're heavy out there. They're heavy. Yeah, they at her front door. See right here? That's her front door.
This appears to be an entire Fed operation going on, folks.
What's that note? Miss Smith, was that like a pass thing or something?
Boost your volume up to 600% with Sound Boom. Your browser caps audio at 100%.
What do you think that noise was?
Sound like GPS or something.
Yeah, it
So I
did.
wonder if it's one of the you know, the bloggers or whatever there.
Yeah. It sounds like they're drilling. Sounds like they got somebody there drilling, child. Yo, he fast with that camera. I ain't lying. He be on the move. They're going towards her backyard.
Just took a picture. I will say, viewers, I believe this is an entire FBI operation. I do not believe any Pima County Sheriff deputies went inside that home. You have the one deputy outside, but everyone appears to be federal law enforcement.
Yeah, I believe that too.
They're behind this tree, and we're taking pictures and everything. Thank you, Kay Miller. Very grateful. Thank you. Stand by. They're going to probably be moving here shortly. All right, they're kind of walking now towards like a group huddle here. FBI's all over. Oh, they're walking in the back. All right, they're walking in the back. Crazy. Just when we thought the case was getting cold, we have major law enforcement activity out here Media is everywhere out here, man. Now, look at all this media. I'm gonna go back over here, position myself here. Let's see what happens here. FBI all over the place. Go right here, because they're gonna come out here. If they're gonna come out, they're gonna come out here. If I see them anywhere else on the property, I'll let you know. They're gonna come out. They're gonna come out here. JLR investigates out here in front of Nancy Guthrie's home. Feds inside, outside, went around the house. I would say there's about 10 of them here. Estimate total. They've in a convoy of black SUVs. Uh-oh, what we got? Where everyone's running.
Ooh, y'all, look at the media out there. They're out there. They're out there.
We'll see exactly what this is about. This is anything. Just told they were inside the house, all of them.
You're reporting you believe this is FBI?
It is FBI.
It is FBI.
Yes, it's absolutely FBI.
This is not.
They came down that way.
Did they?
Yeah, they came in a convoy. Yeah, they're absolutely FBI.
This is not Pima County.
No, this is FBI.
FBI.
Yes.
Do they have?
I mean, I could be wrong, but it's FBI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
This
so.
could be an entire FBI operation inside the home. You got the Pima County deputy here.
Right. So our drone friend, he says that the blood is still right there.
Is it?
The drone.
Wow. Did you hear
Heather
that?
Warwick, thank you everyone for the support as we cover this in real time. Told you something could pop off any day. It's the first time I've seen this amount of law enforcement here, and we're day 25, and they're like back here, probably reassessing the situation. As we've learned yesterday, the FBI their command center has been moved to Phoenix.
Across the state lines, they can't. Obviously, we don't know that.
All right, that's all I'm gonna cover for today. But so what do you think, Miss Smith? What do you think? You think that they're gonna find something, do more investigation about it, come up with some more ideas of what really could have happened to Miss Nancy? What's your thoughts on it?
I think they're trying to recover new evidence if they can. So because the FBI has been called in, they're going back over the scene with like a fine-tooth comb by FBI standards, right? And hopefully they find something, but I think they will? It depends on how sloppy the sheriffs did their job, you know?
Right, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's true. I agree. Well, I hope they find some type of clues with the inside, the outside, and, maybe with the splatters that was left there behind, they can just come up with something, to bring this lady back home, or even to give her a proper barrier, something to put this family at ease, to where their mom is at. You know what I mean? Because this is just sad days going past, and don't nobody know where she at, how she's doing. Nobody knows none of that. So I know this family is not sleeping, probably not eating. They're on the edge every single day. It's heartbreaking. It really is. It's a heartbreaking story. So I'm definitely going to look up some more stuff tonight for tomorrow and see what can I come up with tomorrow. And I'm going to get up off here. And I thank everybody that chimed in that was, interested in this real life story, because this is a real life story. This is an 84-year-old woman that has been missing since February 1st. And they are here still doing their search, trying to locate her whereabouts. So this is a real life story here also. So I appreciate everyone that chimed in. And, I don't get that many views when I ain't doing what people like. You know what I'm saying? So I just appreciate the people that does time in with me. I know how the game go. And I just say thank you for everyone that came through, and thank you always, Miss Smith. No matter what story I cover, you always come through for me. So I want to give you your flowers, and I want to say thank you, and I appreciate you so much.
Oh, I appreciate you. I got you back.
Thank you. And I will definitely see you tomorrow.
All right, see you tomorrow. I'll be stepping down.
Okay. All right. Thank y'all so much for timing in. I appreciate y'all. Maybe some people may watch the replay and leave their opinion and how they feel about Miss Nancy. So I'm going to get up out of here. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Y'all be safe and have a blessed day.